This is Mrs. Cummings, and this is the ratios, rates, and unit rates with fractions quiz. This will be part 1, and then I will also record part 2, which will be attached to this. Pick your block, put in your first name and your last name. At the store, the price of a bag of peanuts is proportional to its weight. Henry buys a bag of peanuts weighing 0.3 pounds for 96 cents. What is the price per pound of the peanuts? Question number 2. On average, Mrs. Severick drinks a half of a 16-ounce water bottle in 2/3 hours. How much water does she drink in an hour? Remember, she's only drinking half of a 16-ounce water bottle, so you have to figure that out before you can figure out the ratio. How much water does she drink in an hour? The table below shows the costs to rent a snowboard from a company for different numbers of hours. Cost to rent a snowboard, here are the hours, and here are the costs in dollars. Based on the information in the table, what is the cost in dollars to rent a snowboard from the company for 1 hour? So you're looking for the cost per hour. Question number 4. A race car travels along a horizontal straight path at a constant rate. The race car travels 1/16 of the length of the path in 3/4 seconds. At that rate, how many seconds does it take the race car to travel the entire length of the path? How many seconds does it take the race car to travel the entire length of the path? In the morning, the bus driver traveled 3 miles every 4 minutes. In the afternoon, the bus driver traveled 4 miles every 5 minutes. What was the difference between her morning and afternoon traveling rates in miles per hour? You're going to need a piece of paper to do this one. You're going to have to set up 2 different ratios, one for the morning and one for the afternoon. They want miles per hour. And remember, they're giving you miles per minute. Miles per minute. You're going to have to set it up so that it's miles per hour. I'm going to give you a little tip or trick or reminder. Minutes, you have how many minutes are in an hour. Well, that's 60. So you have to change these minutes to an hour, and you can do that by writing 4/60. And you can do that same thing to the 5 minutes here. You can write 5/60. So then for the morning, for the bus driver in the morning, he's traveling 3 miles in 4 out of 60 minutes. All right, so that's the first part. I set up the morning. You have to do the afternoon one. Once you figure out both of those, you have to find the difference between those two numbers. Difference equals subtract, people. Just a reminder. Okay. The next one, a machine produces 21 1/8 inches of metal in 6.5 minutes. At that rate, how many inches of metal will the machine produce in 1 minute? So how many inches will the machine produce in 1 minute? Set that up and solve it, put it in your calculator. Next question. 4 local stores sell the same brand of cheddar cheese. The table below shows how much each store charges. So here are the stores, store A, B, C, D. Here are the amounts in pounds for all those stores. And here's the price in dollars for each of those stores. Which store has the lowest price per pound? Price per pound for the cheese. So that you have to do each store and figure out who has the lowest price. Gregory draws a scale drawing of his room. The scale that he uses is 1 centimeter for 7 feet. On this drawing, the room is 3 centimeters long. Which proportion can be used to find the actual length of Gregory's room? So which one of those will help you find the actual length of Gregory's room? A, B, C, or D? The next question, Nadine is making banana bread. The recipe requires 2/3 cups of flour and 1 tablespoons of sugar. Nadine wants to make this recipe using 1 cup of flour. To maintain the ratio, how much sugar is required when 1 cup of flour is used? So sugar per flour. Just make sure you're really reading that. Set up the ratio and put it in your calculator. Number 10, a go-kart uses 1 3/8 gallons of gasoline to travel 27 1/2 miles. At this rate, how many miles can the go-kart travel per gallon of gasoline? How many miles can the go-kart travel per gallon of gasoline? Set up the ratio, put it in your calculator. Question number 11. On Monday, the temperature at 10 a.m. at Sam's house was -6 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature at 2 p.m. at Sam's house was 2 degrees. What is rate? What is the rate the temperature increased per hour? Okay. They're looking at for the rate the temperature increased per hour. So is it A, the temperature increased 8 degrees per hour, the temperature increased 2 degrees per hour, the temperature increased 0.5 degrees per hour, or the temperature increased 32 degrees per hour? So it starts at 10 a.m. at -6, and then at 2 p.m. it's up to 2 degrees. Question 12, the recipe requires 2/3 cup of milk for each 1/5 cup of chocolate. How many cups of chocolate are needed for each cup of milk? Remember, for all of these, you basically need to set up the ratio, and they might be complex fractions, and then you need to put them in your calculator to solve them. All right, moving on to part 2. It says answer each question and be sure to show all work. Number 13, Bryant is training for a bike race. He rides his bike 14 1/5 miles in 2/3 of an hour. What is Bryant's average speed in miles per hour? Miles per hour. Set up the ratio. This is the work she needs. Then she wants you to plug in the numbers where they go. Then she wants you to put them in your calculator. Question number 14, a stand at a farmer's market sells different types of apples as shown in the table. So you've got apple A, apple B, and apple C. The top is the cost that each of them costs, and the bottom is the weight. And they put the weight in pounds, but this one is in ounces. If you remember in class, we already have pounds, so we'd want to just change this one to pounds as well. And it tells us here that 1 pound equals to 16 ounces. So just like time, you actually have to make that a complex or a fraction, and you have to put it over 16. So now you can set up the cost over the weight. It says find the cost of each type of apple per pound. All right, so then you're going to go ahead and set up each of the ratios and you put them in your calculator for apple A, apple B, and apple C. Then part B says what type of apple. So is it apple A, apple B, apple C? What type of apple costs the least per pound? All right, now you have one more question before a bonus. Number 15 says Jamie can mow 1/6 acre of lawn in 8 minutes. If her rate is constant, can Jamie mow 1 1/2 acres in 1 hour, 60 minutes? Explain your reasoning. Include the steps you took to arrive at your answer. So again, you are going to want to find out this unit rate, but remember they have hours here and they have minutes. So you're going to want to change this so that it's out of 60, because then you can compare it easier when it's in hour format. So again, you're going to set that up. You're going to figure out Can Jamie mow how many acres per hour? You're going to set up this ratio and you're going to compare. Can she mow 1.5 acres in 1 hour? If she can, you can write yes, she can, because she can mow blank in 1 hour, or no, she cannot. She can only mow blank acres in 1 hour. All right. You don't have to do anything with these bold parts, but there is a bonus. Andrew walked 3/4 of a mile or 3/4 of a mile in 10 minutes. Jamie walked 4/5 of a mile in 15 minutes. What was the difference in their speeds in miles per hour? I'm not going to go into depth explaining that one because it is a bonus and you should be able to do it, or you can try it on your own. Submit and turn in when you're done.